I'm Owen with Kyle. We're talking to Nicole Nadler about her show at the Fringe, Exposure Therapy.
Sorry.
Yes.
Who is Nicole Nadler and what brought you here?
What an existential question to ask. Who is Nicole Nadler? Okay, I'll answer the second one because that's easier. What brought me here is in the UK, Edinburgh, or the Fringe.
The Fringe. Like, what brought you to
the
today?
Fringe. The Fringe. I just keep doing on a whim of impulsivity. I really have not. I cannot seem to learn a lesson. This is my third Fringe show that I've done. This show, Exposure Therapy, is brand new, but this is my third consecutive year at the Fringe. Mm-hmm. And every year, I'm getting a little bit better at it, but every year I basically have this idea and then I just go with it. And now it's like my shtick of like impulsively doing a Fringe show and hoping for the best. And so far, it has gone okay, which is what leads me down this. I was a little bit more organized about this one. I had the idea for this show last August, which was right around the time that I was telling everybody I'll never do another Fringe show. I'll never do this to you guys again, like to my friends and everything. I was like, I'll never do this to myself again. Trust me, guys, I'm done. I did it twice. I'm done. But I had this idea and I was like, it's really clever and I really like it, but I could take a year off. Like there's next year, like I don't have to do it. And I was really good about it. The Fringe emails you, so the show ends at the end of August. They start emailing you in October to be like, hey, you want to do another show? It's traumatic. I'm like, I have just recovered the tiniest bit or started my recovery. You're not recovered by October. And so after the first year, I just was like, okay, sure, I'll do another one. And I didn't really think it through. And then this year I was like, I'm going to take a break. I need I think everyone's experience is different, but my mental well-being was tough. It's tough. It's even when it goes well, it's tough. And so I held strong. But I had this idea in my head and I just kept thinking about it. And I'm like, oh God, it'd be really funny. What if I did this, but I'll do that later. Or like, there'd be a problem that I'm like a sort of a glitch in the plan. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, but if I do that, then that solves that problem. But that's okay. I'll do it later. So like, I'm just collecting these thoughts. And then I ran into a friend of mine who's I'll say her name. She's got a great show. Her name's Mary-Elaine Robertson, and she's a comedian. She's great. Right. So we ran into her, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, good. Blah. And she's like, how's your French prep going? And I was like, I'm not doing a show, a little burnout. And she's like, yeah, girl, I feel you. But saying that to someone made me feel some type of way. And that was the end of March, which is very late in the Fringe game. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, let me just see if I can get a venue. And if I can't get a venue, I had some specific specs. I wanted it to be at night. I wanted it to be a small audience, under 40 people, all 3 weeks. And I was like, and if I can't get it, then it's a sign. And if I can, then that's a sign. And unfortunately, I got a goddamn venue. And so I was like, no, it's like mid-April. I'm like, there's just no way. But let me do it so that way I can feel confident that I gave it my best shot. Oh, well, gosh darn it. It didn't work out. And then it worked out. I was like, oh, God. So as excited as I am, this all came about from like mid-May to now. So this has been a very quick, the thinking was a slow process, but then I signed the contract somewhere in May and it's now only July and yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that you're still going. Like, that is such a short time. I'd have been lying on that couch, just hiding from the world, 2 duvets, big igloo.
I kind of am, don't worry. I really wanted to. I planned to go out and flyer the last couple of days, and I just couldn't do it. I think it's about to be incredibly busy, and my body was just like, just sit down, girl. You're not going to sell a ticket on Sunday. Just sit down. So I am a little bit like that. It's a lot of, I have to correct people often and be like, I know it seems like confidence, but it's mega nervous energy that just looks like, I'm stressed, don't worry. So yeah. So that's the show. And for me, I think that explains who I am as a person pretty well. But I've been in the UK for about 8 years. I came over several years ago. My husband is Scottish, which is how and why I live here. I was always a big theater kid who wanted to do theater stuff, but I don't know. I was, I guess, easily discouraged. I didn't take that path as a young person, and hysterically in my early 20s felt that it was far too late for me. My time had passed. It was just about 23, and which makes me laugh out loud now in my mid 30s. And so when I moved here, I was just enamored by the Fringe and was like, right, well, one day I need to do a show. And then immediately was like, oh, but I can't actually, like, that'd be cool, but I couldn't pull that off. And then, I don't know, I just got this crazy idea, and I did everything so quickly that I couldn't really talk myself out of it, and I pulled it off. And then I sort of did it again, and I pulled it off, and now I'm doing it a third time. And I'm hoping it's a hat trick.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull it off.
Yeah.
We're speaking, we're manifesting.
Yes,
I feel good.
In the universe.
I feel fine.
Yeah. The mania counts. It's okay. I mean, all of this is great, but you are planning a 3-week Fringe show while I assume you're still working full time and having a full life.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Because you've done all this thought collecting and then sudden energy, but what is it like for you? Just that part.
A day in the life with me is gonna be, I am working from home. I have a work from home job and a great, very lovely boss and understanding everybody. So because it's a late night show, I'm gonna still work because it is actually really good for my mental health to not be able to think about the show nonstop. It becomes very obsessive in a not fun way very easily. Especially if my show was sold out or at 80% most of the time, and there's just those, then I guess, I don't know, I guess you just flit about and go see other shows. But for me, I would be sick to my stomach every day on the streets, all but screaming after people to please buy a ticket. Yeah. And that just doesn't do anybody any favors. You can do it for a few hours, but after a while, you really put yourself in a bit of a psychosis. So to be able to work actually is really beneficial for me, that I can set time aside and think about something that is not my show for 30 seconds at a time. And then I have to get distracted. And then, so I'm working every day from 11 to 5:30. And then I've got these mega rainbow platform boots. So I'll put the platform boots on, I'll stomp my way into town. Flyer. There's a pizza shop that I love. So I have a pre-show routine. I get pizza at my pizza shop that I love, on Southbridge, the best one. And then I stomp around for a few hours flyering. I'm really good at flyering. Thank God. It doesn't stress me out. And then I'm going to try to give myself a 45-minute window, which I say every show and I never do, where I stop flyering and I just start getting myself prepped. That only works when your tickets are selling well. When your tickets aren't selling well, it's 3 minutes before. You're like, do you want to come? Do you want to come? I'll get you through. Do you want to come?
I'll just pick you up and bring you in. It's fine. I just need seats. Come on.
I'm it's free. Just get that out. You'd be surprised how hard it is to give up free tickets. Anyway, so the routine of the Fringe I found is or having a routine of whatever that looks like is really important. So, even I know it's really silly, but what I wear, even the way I do my makeup, I keep everything as same as I can. So it's quite uniformed and I don't have to waste any brain energy. I'm oh, this is a great lipstick, stupid stuff that doesn't matter, that when you're so stressed out will send me into a spiral over nothing, because I'm already at full capacity of mental overload, that the tiniest decision. So I'll have the same breakfast. Everything will be as routine as possible so that I don't have to make any decisions. Or I learned that from President Obama, actually. Not that I'm at all like President Obama, but he would wear the same thing and do the same thing so that he doesn't have to make these mundane decisions because he's making so many big decisions. So during the Fringe, when there's all this pressure, I'm okay, well, what can I remove the pressure of? Great. This is my breakfast every day. This is what I wear. This is the makeup I wear. This is the bag that I bring. This is the water bottle I drink out of. Not a single tiny decision. So I can cope with the big ones.
I've also seen you very sensibly farm out your outfit choices to your followers. So.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Well, I'm
like
still
that.
deciding. I had another one that I tried on yesterday. So I'm like doing this video and I tried it on the zipper. It like went to the top and then it just split. Like the zipper itself broke. And I just, great. Love that. So TBD. But yeah, man, anything is content. That's the game. Yeah. That's the other thing. You can't just show up and perform. If you just showed up and performed, that would be fine. But that is not, even before social media, that's not really how it worked. But now it really doesn't work like that. So there's a whole nother side of it that you have to really, it just doesn't pay to not buy into it. It doesn't do you any favors. So I've committed to the bit.
That you're talking about as well, the rainbow boots. I want them. I want them so much.
Hold on. Look at them. I got them right here.
So cool.
They're a little bit too small, but I don't care. I have ice packs for my feet every night. I don't care. This is a power shoe. Yes. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I have learned. Because everything with the Fringe is a gimmick. Mm-hmm. It does not matter if you are the most talented person there. You could be the best singer, funniest comedian, best circus performer. I don't know what their proper term is, aerialist, whatever. If you can't get people into your show, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Vice versa, you could be shit but have great marketing and be a household name or whatever, and you're sold out, no problem. Mm-hmm. So I love a gimmick. I work in marketing, so last year I wore a black dress and these bright blue shoes, and the amount of people that would stop me and be like, "I love your shoes." And my poster was sort of a blue and black theme. And I was like, thanks so much. It matches my poster. I'm doing a show. Here's a flyer. Yep. Just to get somebody to stop for a second. I don't know if any of them came, but it's still, so the whole, or like I always do my nails to match my poster. So then when I'm talking, people are like, oh, and then it just stops them in their tracks for just that moment to go, oh yeah, it's for my show. Oh yeah, I'm doing a show. Here's the flyer. Thanks so much. It's 10 o'clock. See you there. And so the boots are part of the gimmick. And if I will wear them if it kills me.
And they work.
Yeah. No, they do.
Oh, yeah.
So having performed at the Fringe for many years, how has the festival evolved, but then also how does it keep bringing you back?
Great question. I have been saying that performing at the Fringe is like getting to be almost like an abusive relationship. I can't leave. I just can't get away. I think living in Edinburgh makes a big difference. I, honest to God, do not know how people do this when they are not, even UK, like not local, but just anywhere else. I would never have done this in the first place if I didn't live here. I maybe would have been like, wow, that's a cool thing that's just it is so much work to make it all happen here. It is so expensive. It is so and then to travel, I can't fathom. So those people actually blow me away. So the keep it coming back is that it's on my doorstep and that it's very hard. And I had to really, in the spring, in like April, when I was really thinking about this, and I was like, okay, if I didn't have a show in the back of my head, I wouldn't be wrestling with this. But when all those big posters go up, how are you going to feel? When you're walking down trying to like go meet a friend for drinks and you're getting flyers like crazy, how are you going to feel? Are you going to be sad that you didn't do it? Are you going to be glad? Like I had to really, and I was like, no, I'll be devastated because I want to see if this idea that I have is worth anything. So big on the FOMO, obviously. Big on the FOMO. The festival is evolving. I mean, this is only my third year participating, so I can't say that I've seen a massive stretch of it. But I will say that it is very interesting because I've been an attendee for a few years before that, in the rise of like social media stars doing Fringe shows. And what is very interesting to me about that is that there are people who are very internet famous, but not like household, like, oh, I don't know, like the Miriam Margolyes, where everybody knows her name. Like she's the woman, okay? These are internet famous people who then you'll see like flyering their show. And I'm like, you have 5 million followers on the internet and you're standing on the street too? Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Me and the 3 people who watch my videos, we're fine. So, but I see that more every year, or like as I'm scrolling to see like what other Fringe stuff is happening, I'll see other performers promoting their shows, and then I'll click on them, and they're like, oh guys, I'm doing this show, and they have like 2 million followers. And I'm like, what? How are we putting out the same message of begging people to? So I just find the rise of the influencer doing a show is very, very interesting, because I'm sure the concept of being internet famous and how that translates to real life, I don't know. I've seen a couple of them. I liked the ones that I saw. I didn't have any bad experiences where it was like you're different on the internet than you are in person. Yeah. But I just think that's going to keep going more and more and more, and people using their internet clout, as they should. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. But it is just a very different thing when you're like a very regular person and you are standing next to someone and you're like, you are famous in my phone. You're famous in my phone. And we're both doing buy one, get one free tickets at the half price hut. Like, what is happening? You know?
I had that more.
So it's a very interesting feeling.
A couple of podcasts I listened to, when podcasts started doing live shows, I was like, what is going on? How is this a thing where it's just two people chatting on stage and it's now
it works.
selling out theatres and auditoriums? Craziness. One of the biggest ones, actually, a couple of American podcasters, the Ladies and Tangents, listening to them as background. Just a couple of cousins that get together and talk and selling. They're one of the biggest podcasts in the world. Like, that's wild. So.
Look, the very original version of this show was going to be called something like I Just Want to Talk. Maybe a little snappier than that, but something like that. Because I was helping a friend of mine flyer for his show because he was really apprehensive about it, and I've done it. I had it for a job when I lived in New York as my third. I'm like, look, it does not faze me. Lots of things faze me, not this. And so I would just go up to people and like just have these riffing, insane conversations and like these gimmicks and all these. And he's like, how are you doing that on the spot? And I was like, I don't know. I just black out. I couldn't even tell you what I just said. I have no memory of it. But in that moment, I'm like, I have no idea. What did I say? He's like, that was funny. I'm like, great. What did I say? I have no idea. Like, I'm literally spraffing shite at these people. No clue of what. Anyway. And so he's like, you should do a fringe show of just you flyering. And I was like, so then we're like making jokes about different silly fringe shows you can do. And I'm like, what if I just do a show called Just Let Me Talk, or I Just Want to Talk, or something like that. And it's just crowd work. And I ask people to tell me things. And then when I land on an interesting one, I'm like, great, that's enough. I want to talk about it. And then I talk about it. And then when I'm done, I'm like, okay, who has the next topic? And we were laughing. We're like, people would come. I'm like, people would come. And so that's the very first version. I didn't do that. That's a little too bold for me. Maybe next year. That was the very first version of like, how would an unscripted, because my show is unscripted. And so it was like, how would an unscripted show work? Or it's not even like, it is improv, but there's nobody with me. I'm just taking what I'm being given and hoping that I have the right chutzpah, if you will, to make it happen. And so, it came from flyering my friend's show and just telling people random stuff on the street. And now a year later, I'm here telling people random stuff in an audience.
The best sort of story to get there. I mean, speaking of stories, so you've had Daily Record say Nadler enjoyed 5-star reviews and sellout shows in 2023. This year could be a flop. I don't believe it.
That is the best thing. I'm actually really annoyed. I was going to get that put on a t-shirt to wear, and I forgot. And I remember yesterday, and I was like, I don't have the energy to make. Maybe I'll do it, just not for the start. Like I gotta make that. So last
just
year,
get it on there.
another QR code, you can read the article. Last year, Edinburgh Live. 2 years ago, Edinburgh Live did an article about my show. So then I guess last year I reached out because I sort of did a sequel to my first show, and I was like, hey guys, doing another one if you want to write about it, something like that. I don't know. You got to punt where you can. You can't have any pride or shame in this game. And they didn't do that, but they chatted to me and they asked, and I was like saying something about ticket sales, something, whatever. Yeah. And so then they ran the article. We talked about a lot of stuff, but they ran the article focusing on the juicy headline of like how I felt about ticket sales, which I found to be boring, but fine. Then it got picked up by the Scottish Daily Record, which was funny because they like fully misquoted it. They said that I was a Scottish comedian, and I'm not Scottish, and I don't brand myself as a comedian. And my show last year was definitely theater. This one is a little bit maybe on the cusp, but last year was fully a theater piece. Yeah. So I love that. I was like, oh, look at me. And I'm like, I reread the original article. I didn't say that. But yeah, so they quoted, their headline said, Nicole Nadler enjoyed 5-star reviews and sellout shows in 2023. This year could be a flop.
Yeah.
I was like, how dare you? Do you know how fragile I am right now? What the hell? No one asked for that. No one asked for that commentary. Just take the article, reprint it, run your shitty ads, make your money. Leave me alone. But I love it. I think it is so funny. I use it. So I had to put it in my show blurb for this year.
Yep.
It is so iconic to me. It's like when celebrities get arrested and then they wear a T-shirt of their own mugshot. Like, that's what I want
same
with
thing.
This. Like, that's the same energy for me. I'm like, the biggest publication for that my show has ever been in, and that's what you have to say? You just copy-paste the whole thing, and you add one piece of original thought, and that was it? Great. I got to make it my personality. So it could be a flop. It could be a sellout show. Could have 5-star reviews. Who knows? I'll write to them after and be like, FYI, guys.
It's the second year now past that not being a flop.
Yeah. And last year was not a flop.
Yep.
I had lots of sellout shows. I had lots of 5-star reviews. So they were infinitely wrong. This year, I think we'll be fine. We have still a few days to remain to be seen.
It's definitely not normal for the Daily Record to be wrong. Never.
No, not
Yeah, never. Honestly, what a laugh. Every time you have to Google yourself, which is very cringy, but like if I need to find like a quote or something in it. So every once in a while I have to like look through all the reviews. And so that will pop up because it's the biggest name other than like a little independent. And every time I just have to physically laugh out loud because it is just an insane thing to write about a person's. Anyway, I don't know. I should find the person and be like, I hope that you're well, because let me tell you what you've done to me.
So, Tim mentioned that a whole song on that. Like when he first started out in comedy, and he got absolutely rinsed in this review, I think from some guy from The Independent. And then he came back like 5 years later and had a full song, which was essentially that, like, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, that's the only way. I love it. I love to heckle a heckler. Yeah. I did it in my first show. I heckled a heckler. I put it in part of the show. I'll do it again. I'm not afraid. You have something to say, I have something to say back. You start the fight, I'll finish it.
So what's been your biggest moment in performing besides the Daily Record?
Well, for me, the feeling, I don't know if I can put it to like one, it wasn't like one particular performance or one thing. It's just, it's never less incredible to me. And I don't know if all performers feel like this, or maybe eventually it gets old. It is never less incredible to me that I am doing it. Any of it. I've been very lucky with having good ticket sales. I've never had to perform to a small, when I say small, like it's not been a ton, but like
it's an empty room.
I would say the lowest I ever had was like 50% capacity. So like a decent, always not like, in the Fringe, you know, you get like one person. I've been the one person at a show before, you know, like I get it. And I've yet, could be a flop, could happen this year, but I've yet to have that. So it's not even about the commercial success, which is great, but I just can't believe that I did it and it worked. And then I did it again and it worked. And now I'm doing it again. And it's going
to work.
It's going to work. It's going to work. But each time, it never is less. You know how you see, I mean, I'm not likening myself to winning the Oscars here, but you see these big celebrities and they win awards. And you're looking at them, you're like, you've won so many awards. Like, are you just faking it? I don't know. Maybe they are, but like I can comprehend how it is still. Cause you're like, I was this little girl who was in my room yapping in front of my mirror, putting on costumes, pretending to be Annie, hoping I could be on a stage. I mean, I never made it to being Annie, but like I'm on a stage and I did my own work by myself, and people want to see it, and they come back and they're supporting me, and I don't even know, like. Whatever the word is to encapsulate that feeling, that is the reason I can't seem to give it up, because it is just, it's also like, it's doing the Fringe is like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows every other 5 minutes.
Yep.
Like I will literally, my poor husband, he knows the routine. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I have 1 ticket sold. And he's like, hey, it's going to be okay. And then I'm like, no, I'm never doing this. No one has ever loved me. Everybody hates me. I don't know why. And then I'm like, oh, and then he'll text me like, how's the show? I'm like, oh yeah, it was great. It's sold out. Thanks. See you later for dinner. Like so many times because you're just, I've spent a lot of time in therapy, 1 in general and 2 because of the Fringe. And a lot. And a big part of that is trying to separate what is and isn't personal and what is just art and what you sacrifice for your art and how it's so much more important to everyone can believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter. I learned that real hard and fast after the first show. I always thought that if everyone around me believed in me and loved me and supported me and then I would be able to take all of that extrinsic reward and that would sort of fill me up. And it did not. Yep. It did not at all. I mean, in the moment, but it didn't stay. It was so fleeting because I couldn't really absorb that myself. And so going in the 3rd year now, a little bit the sadder but wiser girl of knowing that my own work is what really matters and how I feel about my work. And I'm going to poorly phrase a poem by Rupi Kaur that says your art is not about if other people your work is not about if other people like your art, something like that. It's about if your heart likes it and your soul likes it and your body likes your work. And that you must never trade honesty for relatability. Yep. I've butchered it, but you get the point. I encourage everyone to look it up. And I will repeat that to myself on a mantra and I have it screenshotted on my phone and I look at it constantly because that is what it matters. I had this thing that I want to do and I made it happen and I hope that you like it too. And if you don't, it doesn't matter because it's my art. Yeah. And that's that feeling, whatever that feeling is it is better than 5-star reviews and sellout shows. I want those as well. I want those too, universe. But that's the part that really matters is making your art a reality in whatever it looks like.
One of the quotes I had, I can't remember, it was someone who was very young, is your art is from your heart and it's got to be for you. You can't make things for other people. So
it cannot. You cannot. It's not possible. It's superficial. It's not real. It's authentic. It's exhausting. A little bit in my other shows, I felt like there was a message I was trying to send and I was very concerned with it being received correctly. And I wouldn't say I altered myself, but that was just a big part of my thought process. And I didn't like that. Yeah. I didn't like the way it felt. And so in this, it's just me yapping and I'm going to say whatever I want. It is the way that I want it to be. It is whatever flows out of me naturally. And that feels so real and authentic and right. It just feels right. Your art is your art and no one else's.
Quite right. And I mean, you've mentioned there, you have people now that are coming back to see you and you're going to be in a yapping show. I'm going to call it a yapping show. It's not even improv, it's yapping.
It is a yapping show.
Yapping. So,
I'm a yapper. Certified.
What is your most unexpected or memorable audience interaction that you've had?
Well, so my first 2 shows were in short about my experience of discovering I had ADHD when I was 30. That was my first show, and then my second show was sort of a follow-up about that, and then almost like a play within a play of then I did a show about it, and now here's how I feel about that. So anyway, and I can't remember if it was the first or second show, but I did have someone that I flyered to. And it was all very obvious what the show was about on my flyer. And I was like, hey, I got a show. It starts in 20 minutes. You can book at the box office. They got it. Great. They walked in a few minutes late. Not a big deal. Sat down, but that's how I know it was this person because I saw them come in late. Sat down. And then I had this big opening monologue-y bit. I mean, the whole thing is a monologue. And it was the first show because about 15 minutes in was the first time that I mentioned ADHD. And this guy stood up and was like, fuck that, and walked out. And I was like, I like it. Speak up for yourself. It's just the only thing I did, it just threw me off. It's a lot to remember. So that was the first show, audience interaction wise. And then my second show, there was a guy who came and I remember because he talked to me afterward, and he was just very odd. He wasn't he just was an odd man. But anyway, and he had a hat on, which is how I put two and two together. Or maybe he talked to me first and then he saw the show. That was it. He kept laughing at parts that were decidedly not funny. Like there was a bit where I talked about like suicidal ideation or something, and the room got very quiet, and he like was like, ha 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 ha. I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to be serious, but now I'm trying not to laugh. Yeah. And he just kept, and he wasn't taking the piss. Like he just kept finding things funny in like quiet moments where I'm like being reflective or like existential about my whole, whatever the lines were. But it wasn't like, there was lots of high energy bits that maybe he left at, oh yeah, so we did that like 3 times. And then look, it's really hard to learn lines when you're doing a show by yourself, okay? It's really hard. Yep. So both of my first shows, I opened the show without knowing my lines. And I felt a lot of shame about that. And I felt so much shame that I just had to get it was like, here's the shame. Here's what I felt. I had to get right the fuck over it and come back to ground zero because I just had to do a show, okay? Mm-hmm. I had lines on my arms. I just had to do what I had to do. I had to call for a line. So my second show, I would call for, if I had to call for a line, I had to call for a line. What are you going to do? Leave? Mm-hmm. Leave. Yeah. This is how it is, my friend. It's a show about ADHD. Leave me alone. Yeah, honestly. So, but obviously it doesn't feel good, does it? And so there was one day, I don't think it was it might have been the opening night or the second, whatever. No, it was the day my show was being filmed. So this would have been like the 5th show in. And I don't know I remember being really hot and like I hadn't eaten. I was just very distracted. Like I remember walking into the performance very distracted and knowing that I was not on my A game. And there was one bit where like I asked for a line and then he would give it to me and I'd say like 3, I had to ask for a line like 3 times in succession. Like I just couldn't get back on the pace. Yeah. Because normally you ask for a line, they give it to you and you're good to go. Mm. I could not. And I don't remember what it was, but it ended up being like part of the punchline where I must have been talking about being forgetful or being really disorganized or something like that. Because then I was like, line, so exasperated. And then he said, and I always forget, something like that. And I was like, and I always forget. And so it ended up being, and that was a filmed version. And so I was like, I felt a lot of shame that like, if I was ever going to send this to somebody, this is what they'd see. But it worked out so well that it was in a bit about the exact same thing. So
there's a lot of good ones.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't watch the shows. I watched the shows back one time just to make sure there's not like something horrible that I hate, and then I never look at them again for obvious reasons. It's horrific. Anything more than a 30-second clip, and I'm like twigging out at watching it. So I watched it. I saw it. I was like, right, fine, we can put that to the public. I'm never looking at this again. So it's there, but yeah.
So I feel like we're coming to your favourite part of this. This is the round out. This is Kev's favourite bit. I like it too.
So everyone that I interview leaves an anonymous note for the next person. It can be anything, really. A question, a piece of advice, just something you live by. So the last person said, remember they're coming into your world. You're not going into their world. So don't half-arse it. Don't get nervous. Get excited. What would be something that you would pass on?
Okay. Cool. I like that. Now I'm trying to be clever on the spot.
Oh, don't be clever.
Okay, great. Well, okay, great. My show is all about facing your fears. Mm-hmm. Fear is just everywhere all the time, and this is a show about facing your fears. And when it came to the iteration of how the fear part came, is there was a quote that I fully live my life by and have for a long time by the poet E.E. Cummings, which says, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. And that continues to be so inspiring to me in different ways as I age. I first read it over a decade ago. You don't just get to grow up and become who you're meant to be. You have to be courageous about it. And you have to be courageous in your growing up. And I don't mean childhood. I mean like birth to death growing up, because you're always growing. And when you're courageous in your growing, you get to be who you are really meant to, who you really are at your core. Mm-hmm. And so all 3 of those parts are, so you can't have one without the other. You can grow up, but without the courage to find yourself. you can grow up to try to find who you are without the like you need all those things to be a working machine. And so that is what I'm going to encourage my audience members to do, is to have courage to grow up and find who they really are by like releasing their fears. And so that is what I lead to the next person. And it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. So can you have the courage to be that person?
I love it.
Yeah, I like it.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's a good one. It sticks with you. You'll be thinking about it in like a week from now. Like, do I have the courage for this? I just ask myself all the time, do I have the courage for this? Do I have It's just like on a repeat cycle for me. It helps. I don't always do, but it keeps it in my mind.
Agreed.
This is brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it. You know what I just realised? We've never actually said the name of your show. Do you want to give it a shout?
Yeah, that'd be great. My show is called Exposure Therapy. It is a late night, one woman, unscripted show about facing your fears. The audience will tell me their fears on a Post-it note, or they can give me truth or dares, or they can put their birthday and I will read from my high school diaries on those dates. And it's as embarrassing as you think it would be.
Incredible.
And that is how the show is. So in my opening bit, I have a thing that basically says, you are going to be the authors of this show and maybe my future. Because if I can experience all of these things, if I can expose myself to all of my audience members' fears, or telling people things, or doing things, or sharing things, what is left for me to be afraid of?
Exactly.
Hopefully nothing. And then who is that person when she just goes through life fearless? What is it that I can do? What can I accomplish? Where can I go? I don't know, because I'm not that person, but I'm trying to find out. So that is the very short spiel of a big old show called Exposure Therapy. I would love to have you there. I cannot tell you if it's going to be good. It could be a flop, as the Daily Record once said.
Yep.
But I think it'll be a good time, and we will all find, because every show will be different.
Yes.
You could come to
it's
see
their fault. They're writing it. So
that's what I'm going to say. I'll be like, look, guys, if this is a shit show, that was on you. You didn't give me good material. Come on, I'm not a magician. Yeah. So, but every show will be different.
You're not a magician.
Yeah, I'm a Scottish comedian. Exactly. Get it right, Daily Record. This year they'll be like, this English magician did a show. So for me, I'm losing all control. I'm walking into the situation. I don't know what people don't have. I mean, hopefully they choose to write. They don't even have to write. Recording stopped. It's optional. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what it is.
All good. Well, in that case then, I've been Kyle.
I've been Owen.
Are you sure?
No.
Exactly.
Thanks for taking the time, Nicole. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you.
This has been really great. Thank you for your support. It's getting late in the game has definitely pushed me behind some levels of where I would be. So I'm frantically playing catch up. So this is a good boost to confidence. I really appreciate it.